Welcome back, episode 118 of Revisited, and I think we've done quite a few Dragon Balls. Not recently, but recently-ish, like in the past 6 months. I think we even did Dragon Ball month during that period.
I don't remember. It's all a blur.
Dude, it's all running together. It's the worst. Today, this was linked to us in the Discord. We are talking about why Dragon Ball's fights are special by Loomie. Never heard of them. Blah, blah, blah. You know the spiel.
They're not special. They're really not.
I think for a time, they were. But once you've experienced it, it's over.
I don't think what is there special about Dragon Ball fights?
Definitely the big power and the ki and all of that stuff, because even during a time where anime was, even if it wasn't in the West, it was still prevalent, you didn't really get a thing like a Dragon Ball fight anywhere else.
But if you're just talking about big world-ending stuff, anything can do that.
But it didn't.
Sure, but it takes a lot more to do good characters and storylines and stuff.
Or even good choreography, which Dragon Ball Z really lost in the later fights.
I don't think that just pulling back and just going big Kamehameha destroy world is really anything.
But the thing is, special never means good. It just means special, unique, different.
Yeah. But is it worth bringing it up?
For a Dragon Ball fan, what else are you going to bring up?
We don't know if they're a Dragon Ball fan.
We heard the first 6 seconds of this.
It's fine. Okie doke.
And it sucks!
I'm really sorry it took so long for a new video to drop, but here it is finally. I really put my all into it this time, so I would greatly appreciate it if you'd leave a like and write down your thoughts in the comments below. I love Dragon Ball, dang it.
Boy.
Dang it.
Description cooked.
Frame 1. I love Dragon Ball with a passion and despite its flaws, but I still
Can we stop with this despite its flaws stuff? Yes, it's not perfect. That you're just excusing the bad of it.
But I still think people sometimes forget that there is legitimately some depth behind the story and fight. So I want to talk about it in here. I hope you enjoy.
There's depth in practically anything.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if a puddle in the street has depth, but it's different from an ocean. But there's still depth there.
Let's talk about how well it does things, not just the fact that it does the things.
Not the fact that it has depth. But we don't know the arguments.
Yes, we do.
So
yes, we do.
Get into it.
Dragon Ball is probably one of, or even the most influential shonen anime to ever exist. It is incredibly popular and iconic to the point...
We understand this. You are not in 2024 breaking any new grounds with this. It's completely understandable.
By going influential and iconic.
The
double eyes.
I would leave it out completely because this doesn't do anything. I would start the video going, Dragon Ball. Now let's get into it.
But it makes the people that are going to click on this video that do want to hear about the positives of Dragon Ball already get that good feel-goodery. That's what I was looking for. Where it's like, yeah, it is influential. This person understands.
You don't need to be told that if you're a Dragon Ball fan.
No.
You know this. You've heard this.
But now, listening to this person, you instantly go, see, they understand it's influential. They understand it's iconic.
I'm more apt to
listen to their bush.
Well, I don't think that they would phrase it like that.
I would.
Incredibly popular and iconic to the point where almost everyone knows it or can at least recognize this hairstyle. It has inspired so many other works that it is widely considered as the father of shonen anime, and despite its last volume being now almost 30 years old, it still holds its place among the best-selling mangas of all time to this day. Some of the best anime video games come from its IP, and
that doesn't count.
Xenoverse? What are you talking about?
But that doesn't count when like 4 properties get good-ish anime games. Like you got Naruto, you got Dragon Ball. What else has had a 7.58 video game in its run?
Even Naruto is pushing it because they're just arena fighter pump and dumps.
I feel like
the arena fighter has killed anime games.
Dude, that new Jujutsu Kaisen game looks like
People
trash.
Are cooking it.
They're done, dude.
They are
Fans
having none of it.
Finished with Arena Fighter.
I appreciate the fact that they're not blindly clap Jujutsu Kaisen hooray, and they're just going, no, this looks like it was made with $3. No. Did they just pass a hat around the studio and just go, what you got? Toss in a $5.
If that Hunter x Hunter is an arena fighter, a tag arena fighter, people are going to be the most pissed, and it might legitimately turn around the Japanese anime fighting game scene. That one game dropping being an arena fighter might legitimately change the course of history.
They have the opportunity to do the funniest thing. Don't fumble the bag. Give us an arena fighter.
With tag mechanics.
Get in there. It does not look very good. It looks very like...
It looks like an arena fighter already.
Like
the art style.
Wii game. What are they doing? It's not... I'm not a graphics person, but it just doesn't look polished. They might be going for a particular style, but it's just like there's some edges.
People that own it are basically like, hey, let's make a game for like $4 million. They are budget. And that's what it looks like. I can see this, honestly, being a free-to-play game with like 12 initial characters and just DLC releases every... I could honestly see some like that.
I just want it to be bad because that's funnier than it being good. But yeah, Xenoverse, come on now. You can't say that that's one of the best. That is, there's so many people that just complain about, so they're just a bunch
it's one of the
same
best
feelings.
If you're a Dragon Ball fan where all you do is consume hype, because all it is all the characters,
you know what?
All the styles,
I was just thinking,
all the what ifs.
They're going some of the best anime games. Like if you put 20 anime games, I guess Xenoverse would be up there because there's just not many even serviceable ones.
And that was my initial point. Like you can't laud this as something commendable when there's like 20 in the world that were any good through the 50 years of video gaming.
The turn-based DS game was hype.
The Jump All-Stars. That was good.
Probably doesn't hold up.
What? You might be thinking of J-Star's Victory Versus.
Are you talking about the side scroller?
Yes.
I remember that being pretty good. J-Star's Victory Versus has Sket Dance, so 10 stars.
Unbelievable.
IP, and I feel like Dragon Ball has influenced so many people's childhood.
You've said influence twice within this intro. Do you understand?
Yeah, I don't care about who it influenced, what it influenced, why it influenced it.
It influenced me, and I think it's the hot now. And I don't mean that in a good way.
Some shape or form. Maybe yours as well. Maybe you too try to go Super Saiyan by screaming your...
That looks like a guy I know.
That looks like Blackbuster Critic. Why wouldn't you want to showcase a less cringy thing? Maybe showcase one of those super, you know how people do their little fan animation, not fan animation, like fan movie things. Mm-hmm. Showcase that.
Or some people at an anime convention doing a fusion dance.
Fucking lungs out, or watch Dragon Ball AMVs with Linkin Park songs all day long, or you try to teach yourself how to fly, like go on Todd Vidal. Regardless, Dragon Ball played a big part in so many people's lives growing up, and yet I feel like that's it. As a kid, everyone loved it, but over time I feel like the collective opinion on the internet towards Dragon Ball slowly shifted in a more negative direction.
The reason it shifted in a negative direction is, as you said, as kids, we had so little to go on. This is good because this is something different. It's not
new.
like a Saturday morning cartoon. But once you start seeing a bunch of, and even if it influenced the things you saw after, once you see a bunch of things doing the stuff that Dragon Ball is doing, but so much better, so much more polished, so much more interesting, then you can look back on a Dragon Ball and go, this isn't very good. It was just very shiny and new.
You go to McDonald's, you just go, this is amazing. Then you go to Burger King, like, no, this is better. Makes McDonald's look a little worse. And then you go higher, higher, higher. Then you make your own burger and you make it exactly the way that you wanted. You just go, oh, great. The McDonald's, it's fine if you want to just rock up in there and get a McDonald's, but
yeah, it went from an S tier to like a C tier.
Just because of more information that you've garnered.
Nowadays, all I hear people saying is Dragon Ball is dull, flat, boring, is badly paced, and has no story despite some dudes screaming and punching.
Pause.
Oh,
That's the most. Sorry.
Yeah, that is reductive to say that. You will always get people saying whatever they will be saying, but point to arguments within like the moral arc or what just finished, the superhero arc. Not even fair because that was just the movie page for page. What the
slightly different.
Slightly different. It is 5% different.
Yep.
Once it gets to what it gets to.
Yep.
Before, after, that's different. But did you see the leaks?
No, what's up?
It's dumb.
I don't know what's going on.
One of the little guy, his assistant with the hair, he comes up to Gohan. He's like, and he hassles him, and Gohan just turns beast for some 10 power level maybe guy. And then Goku's like, hey, what's that? And then he comes back to Earth like, oh, strong.
No way.
It's
Are they gonna go into a story where Gohan has problems controlling his anger now? And that's why he went beast, because that guy irritated him slightly.
I wouldn't say that because they're doing that with Broly.
Yeah, that's true.
But
it sounds terrible.
Whatever I said was, oh yeah. Say what they did. Say what they're saying. And also, they're going off of, I don't know if you're saying that people are saying back then Dragon Ball Z was sucky, or now Dragon Ball, the current Dragon Ball stuff with the moral arc and stuff is sucky, but
or even people that haven't seen it are just saying, it's just people yelling because they haven't seen it.
But if they're talking about the back then stuff, I mean, the people mean, but the 5-minute thing happened. That is poorly paced because they're just fighting, and the Dragon Ball fights are they fight until one of them just falls. There's not really outside of your boos and stuff. I can't even say Cell, because Cell does so few of people's techniques, and even when he does do the techniques are what is functionally different between a Gatling gun and a Kamehameha? Almost nothing. So what does Cell do? He does the Kamehameha, he does the solar flare,
special beam
cannon. He does the Frieza's death beam, which functionally the same as the special beam cannon. So what does Cell really do? So outside of things like that, you got your boo where you go, he can pull off his body fat and wrap you up in it and stuff like that. But androids, well, they just can't run out of energy. Show me in the first Vegeta versus Goku, Vegeta running out of energy. Was that ever a big thing of, oh no, he's running out of energy? No, it was we need to whittle him down. The only real he's running out of energy thing was Frieza, because he wasn't used to that form. So even the android's gimmick of they can't run out of energy, not really applicable because it's not really a big thing within the whole Dragon Ball fights things.
And of course, everyone's favorite. But can he beat Goku though? And yes, while it is a meme that Dragon Ball fans can get pretty annoying online, it is a point worth mentioning that many Dragon Ball fans I encountered can get pretty toxic and annoying online. But I guess every fandom has...
Yeah, every fandom does have their annoying things. My threshold for annoying is, Dragon Ball, iconic, inspired. kind of like what you did.
Its negatives,
we know.
So let's not dwell on that. I'm getting off topic here. Yes, Dragon Ball has its flaws and shortcomings, but I think it does a lot more than people give it credit for. Most people know...
Yeah, if you're taking the bottom of the barrel arguments and people just say, ah, no story, just big screen, man. Yes, it's going to have more than those people give it credit for because they're giving it no credit.
Yeah, you could just say, oh, look, Piccolo developed, and then that instantly breaks whatever they're saying.
Dragon Ball for its fights, and of course that is the most appealing part of it for many fans. After all, it is called the father of shonen anime for a reason. So in this video I want to talk about the appeal of these fights, why Dragon Ball motivates us so much, and what exactly it is that makes these fights work so incredibly well. Or shortly, what it is that makes Dragon Ball's fights special.
You're going to love this.
Why would you use the English and then go to the Japanese for the Kamehameha? I don't understand what you were going for there.
What is that blast?
No!
What is that Trunks blast? Oh, it's just a blast? So how is that different from a Kamehameha? Than a Gallic gun?
How's it different than that move Krillin used where he could just control the beam?
Mm-hmm. And nobody else has ever done that. I like that transition.
Even further beyond.
Hey, you know what?
The editing of the intro was very good.
I like a good scene transition, and that had it. Eye to eye is a very easy thing to do, but it was good.
Way back when Dragon Ball was first released in 1984, it wasn't supposed to be a manga based on fighting. It took a lot of inspiration from Journey to the West, which is a classical piece of Chinese literature written in the 16th century. I'm sure some of you are aware, but even the name Son Goku is a reference to one of the characters in Journey to the West, Sun Wukong. The monkey guy, you know what I mean. Similar to the novel, Akira Toriyama, the mangaka of Dragon Ball, wanted to make it a comedy adventure story, and you can definitely see this approach the most in the first arc. But in these early stages of the story, he still planted the seeds to one day shift it into the more fighting, martial arts oriented manga we know today.
It's not
especially the first
arts oriented.
What martial arts is Boo displaying?
How did martial arts help versus Boo versus Frieza? No, it was just my number is bigger than yours.
What martial arts did Gohan display to defeat Cell?
Piccolo versus 17, a tour de force in Muay Thai.
Tournament of the story was a huge success, and it is here where we and the protagonist Goku learn the most important lesson of Dragon Ball, one that will accompany us through the whole story. And even though it's very simple, it's honestly one of the best and most motivating lessons of my life. No matter how good you are, there will always be someone better. Of course, in Dragon Ball, this was a lesson in context of martial arts, but you can pretty much apply this to everything in life. It is such a beautiful lesson to never give up and always keep on pushing, no matter how good you think you already are.
Didn't Bruce Lee have a quote like that?
I think the number of people who think that they are the absolute very best are sub 1%. I don't think this is a lesson that anybody needs to be told. Because if you can make a hamburger, you know that there are 5-star chefs out there. So you can't be like, I'm the best at making hamburgers. Whatever you do, you have to realize that there's somebody better than you. You can, even in your own field. It's now somebody like Michael Jordan, you know.
But even then, you've got Kobe Bryant, you've got LeBron James.
In that
era,
particular time frame, easy. But like I said, it's sub 1% of people that's just going, no, there's just nobody better than me, and there never will be. I don't know how old you were when you watched that, but it's just not a lesson that needs to be really taught. Or maybe, man, that's the Bakugo thing, isn't it? Though he needed to be taught that.
I think this lesson also birthed the trend of Dragon Ball's ever increasing power levels in the enemies and characters, which I guess can also be seen as a negative since it gets pretty ridiculous later on, but okay. From this point onwards, Dragon Ball started to make its path towards a more fighting-based story. It still had its comedic flair, and some of the arcs were still more adventure-based than fighting-based, but with the end of the Demon King Piccolo arc, Dragon Ball really became full shonen. And with that, the fights really started to get amazing. For a fight to be a quote-unquote good...
Hey, do you hear what music that is? What's that? What's the music from? He's about to explain what makes a fight good, though, but I think the music is just dressing, really.
There is other music out there.
I have not heard a single other song ever.
Fight, it has to have weight or meaning to it. And I think this weight can...
You can extrapolate meaning out of practically any fight unless it's just some bum on the street walking up to Yusuke and going, I want to fight, and he just slaps him and leave.
Yeah. My favorite arc in Sket Dance is, it's very, very early. There's this girl who has a weird shaped mouth, and she has this phone game, and the prize for this tournament is that weird shaped mouth, so she can make her avatar look like her. And she enlists the help of Sket Dance, who just, you walk in and you request anything and they'll do it, and then they go off to that tournament to get that girl a dumb mouth from this tournament, and that's the entirety of the stakes. She wins, y'all win, and she gets it, or you lose and she doesn't. You can make stakes out of anything. That's why I always say I'd rather watch a 3-star match between months that I know and then know their story about than just a 5-star match between just 2 people I've never heard of.
Be created by fulfilling the following criteria. Number 1, and also the simplest, is that a fight has to have some kind of stakes. If it doesn't have stakes and it's just a fight for the sake of fighting, it is pointless.
It's not pointless. There can still be a point to it.
I'm trying to think of a fight that doesn't have stakes.
I mean, you could say some Ippo fights don't have stakes outside of I'm gonna win, I'm gonna lose.
Rank up.
I mean, you don't even really rank up based on your win, because you can lose and still be in the world title picture.
Sure, but it's also a mark on your record, because Makima is 24-1, and that's a big, that one is a big one.
Okay, but let's say not this fight, but let's just say Makima had a warm-up fight before this fight. What is the stakes there? He's already lost. He's already has a world title shot practically secured.
But this is a hypothetical as opposed to...
But even with something like Sendo, what a Sendo fight or Ippo versus Wally, what's really the stake there?
Wasn't he the champion?
Yeah, but just losing your title, is that enough of a stake?
Yes, it is a thing that has prestige, and you lose it.
Ippo versus the Magician.
He's the magician.
That's not a
yes it is.
The magician is not a stake.
He's the magician. I saw you shake your hand where you just like, oh, now I gotta bring up the magician, and this mom could have been jizzing over the magician. Yeah, I am. That's sacrilege to be like, there's no stakes in the magician
besides a win and a loss.
He's the magician. I think Ippo was a champion there too.
I don't know if he was the champion yet.
I'm gonna look up Ippo versus the magician.
What's the stakes of like the third Itagaki fight, or some of the Kimura or Aoki where they get like essentially a page and it was like, yeah, they lost, they won.
It's in the 700s. It had to be because the synopsis.
Oh, if it's in the 700s, yeah.
Yeah.
The stakes can range from anything, like a person's job being on the line, to fame, or to an exam.
Okay, if we're talking fame-ish, then there's
that's
basically no fight without stakes.
What fight does not have stakes.
Because even a bum walking up to Yusuke on the street is just like, I'm gonna be famous by beating Yusuke Urameshi. So even that's got stakes, quote unquote. Gotta go back a bit.
Or being on the line to fame or to an exam, but oftentimes the higher the stakes are, the more suspense it creates.
I disagree.
No, because if it's impactful for the characters within it, it doesn't need to be all that. Pink versus Frankie, just that of these two dumb monks just punching each other, and one of them's about to fall.
If every stake in Dragon Ball is essentially, I'm going to blow up the planet, I feel like the stake of, I've taken your wife or your daughter or your son, and I will hurt them every second that you don't do something. I feel like that's stakes.
Yeah.
Like, if Vegeta was tasked with killing Goku, or Trunks get killed, and there's no Dragon Ball that can wish him back, I feel like that's more stakes than, I'm gonna blow up the planet. Just another, I'm gonna blow up the planet guy.
Would they feel as bad with Boo blowing up planets across the galaxy than they would with their planet, or even just like 5 people on their planet? Would they care as much? No, they wouldn't. So bigger does not automatically equal more.
So usually the most exciting fights are the ones that depend on what the most important thing for that particular story is. What I mean by that is that if it's a story about sports, for example, the finale of a tournament is probably the highest the stakes can get.
Pause.
Slam Dunk
I was just
ended!
about to say Slam Dunk, because that's all I know about Slam Dunk.
Slam Dunk ended in like the second round of the tournament. They didn't go nowhere near the finals. The stakes were beating the team they really wanted to beat. That was it. And they beat them, and then they lost. They went too hard on that other team. They were all worn out. Moss was hurt, and they lost in the very next round. They didn't even show the game. It was like an epilogue of just like, they ain't make it.
Y'all don't need to see this.
They ain't win.
Similar to that, if the fight is relevant to a character's goal or character arc, it is also quite engaging because the stakes are as high as the goal is important to that character.
You're just
But
naming everything
But
now.
all character goals are super important to the character at
Yes.
hand. Gon wanting to find his father is super important at hand. If there was a wall that was preventing it, that would be super important and super engaging because it's the character goal. Any character goal.
You're not just gonna plop a character into a world sight unseen, no information. They just start punching, and you just go, "Well, there's no stakes here. There's no emotional." No, of course there's not. There's always. I cannot think of anything that doesn't have, because you're naming so many things.
There's so many qualifications for stakes and engagement.
Yes, so the more that
there's
you name,
almost nothing.
What doesn't? A person confessing to somebody else. What is there? Somebody running with toast out in their mouth trying to catch the fit buzz.
But that's stakes, because they gotta catch them.
No, I'm saying that's
I thought you meant there were no stakes. Yeah.
That low level is stakes. So what is it?
Like packing a suitcase, I guess, with me, the whole manga.
No, but what if you forget something?
If there was any type of second guessing or doubt as they're walking out the door, then it would be stakes.
Yeah, it could be you're packing the suitcase, and what if you overpack? Then you gotta pay for more because
and you only
it
have
weighs more
enough until your payment comes through.
Exactly, and then even more stakes. So you know, I'm sorry, but just going big planet, go boom, and naming all this other stuff, it just doesn't even, it's not even needed.
Second thing is that the fight should have some kind of philosophical, moral, or ideological narrative supporting it.
I Absolutely not.
I don't think so at all.
What are you talking about?
You went so in broad, but then you went, okay, but it also needs to have this exact thing. It's like, wait a second, what? It needs to have one of these 18 things.
And a philosophical, ideological difference.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it could be this and 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 this, but it also has to have this or this.
I don't think so.
No. Because what's the, like, ideological conflict of Vegeta and 18?
It's just somebody in the way. It could be rivals fighting each other. It could just be two people in a tournament who just don't even know each other, but they're fighting just to win.
What's the ideological difference between Goku and Vegeta? When we're talking about the Majin Vegeta. Even the Majin Vegeta. Oh. What was the ideological difference?
They just wanted to fight.
They're both just want to fight guy. Vegeta just went further. It wasn't even like Goku was like, we can't be fighting. It's just like, all right.
Would it be as simple as good versus evil?
That's not good enough. Because evil is only evil in the eyes of the beholder, as is good. Because if a person tries to take over a country to help their country, they are evil to that country. It's essentially the Pain argument.
Ippo versus Sendo. They're both just super earnest people. So there's not even like a really evil or an ideological.
No, they both want to just fight muffs.
They just want to fight and prove themselves. This doesn't need to be.
So that the characters or the viewer can learn a lesson at the end of it.
I've learned nothing from Ippo versus Sendo. I've learned nothing from Ricardo except do the basics.
Do the basic the best that you can. It's like, this mom has done this jab 1,000,000 times. It is flawless. There is no way around it.
And that's all he got. That's all he is.
That's all he ever needed.
He ain't got no flicker. He ain't got no dipsy roll.
No.
He has a jab.
It's like a motherfucker.
The most basic of boxing punches.
I'm trying to improve on the shoe. It's like, well, I can't really. It's perfect. You don't need any frills. You don't need lights and wheels and stuff like that. Go forward. That's all it is. And then Ricardo's just like, well, I punch people and then I win. I'm sorry, y'all.
Can I not win?
I can't be entertaining. I'm cooling off the arena
after that hot fight with my boring boxing. With my jab until death.
And Ricardo's the best. I'm so boring. I'm sorry. Maybe you will give me a good fight. Oh, you're already down. I just jabbed you, mother. Come on.
I didn't do shit.
You didn't even take my left.
A popular example for this is the Gaara vs Rock Lee fight in Naruto. The moral or philosophical narrative being hard work versus natural talent.
And natural talent won. He got cooked.
Who won?
He got crippled.
Who's the Hokage? or the Kazekage? I keep forgetting. Is Lee a Jonin?
No, he's a Chunin.
He is. I'm talking about at the end.
Oh, the very end. Yeah, because the only one that wasn't was
no, there was a couple people that weren't.
Oh, really?
No, there was a couple people. There were only a few people that were Jonin.
I thought only one was it, and I thought it was Shino.
No, it was a couple people.
Shino should not be a Chunin.
There's no reason why. It's disgusting.
Aburame should be the new Uchiha.
Jonin, yes.
Okay.
But it doesn't necessarily has to be a lesson learned at the end. It can also just be a clash.
What lesson was learned there? Hard work versus natural talent. First off, we don't know.
Don't work hard, people, if there's somebody naturally talented, because you're just gonna get cooked.
Your dreams are just gonna die.
And you might get crippled.
But we don't know Gaara's natural talent, first off. Second off, he lost. So what is that to try your best and still fail? When Gaara's just getting up and walking away. And you're literally, your dreams are over. What is there to learn there?
And at the end, it can also just be a clash between different philosophical standpoints the characters represent and still be engaging. Because in this example, the viewer can come up with his own opinion on the matter. Of course, a fight ideally should also be visually engaging and
that visual bullshit.
No, it doesn't need to be. Airmaster is butt ugly. Has some good animation, but the manga is awful. It doesn't need to be.
exciting, but that is not completely necessary for it to be a good fight. But if it fulfills the other criteria and is well choreographed, all the better. However, Toriyama is a genius at illustrating action and movement in manga and using the advantages of the medium, so at least the fights in Dragon Ball's
we had
manga.
this discussion in the Discord. I showcased an image from Toyo Taro when he did the Dragon Ball Heroes manga. And I did something very similar to this where I've tried to explain why exactly it looked very bad. It was an anime. Why was it an anime? My goodness.
I recently watched a video titled "My Problem with Gigguk" or something, and the guy went right to ink paneling when it started the Dragon Ball part. It's still some of the best panel work in action. I don't give a shit.
But look at this. This is a horrific page.
Oh yeah, no, that's terrible.
But yeah, I explained it as sorry people who's whatever.
Send it to me. I'll throw it up on screen.
Cool. But I explained it to it as your eyes start here and then they go down here and then they have to travel over here and then it travels through the arc of their backflip and then you have to go over back here. And it's like that's not a very. It's not. It'd be better if this was flipped so your eyes would just go to the punch because this the punch and them disappearing and go, oh, where did they go? And then they went all the way back over here, which is almost to this panel. So yeah, something like this where you just go eyes punch down there, down, boom, boom. That's as opposed to this where your eyes are that I'm like I said, I'm not a paneling person, but that one in particular, I was just like, no, I gotta get something out with this because this is bad.
I have no problem at all with that. The last and most important reason builds on the other two. The fight absolutely has to have emotional weight. Without that, it can be the most incredible visual spectacle with the most hype music ever and it will still never...
But wouldn't that go into stakes? Because you care about a character winning or losing or losing their job or whatever the case may be.
Or do they mean emotional weight for the character?
But that would also tie into stakes.
Yep. Hit as hard as a fight that has it. Which is, for example, the reason why this works and this doesn't. Obviously, how much emotional weight a fight has
there's various reasons why the final explosion versus Toppo doesn't work. It's just another lazy reference, which was Dragon Ball Super was just lousy with them. That's one of the reasons.
It has nothing to do with emotional weight and stuff.
But yeah, there's a myriad of reasons. But he was also about to kill himself for the sake of the entire universe. So how could... Isn't that
bigger?
Yeah.
Comes down to a person's connection with the story, which is why it's still kind of subjective what makes a fight a good fight. But
it's always subjective. Don't say kind of subjective like you're looking objectively at what makes a fight a good fight. Good, bad, all subjective. Every bit of it. All opinion. Unless you can point to me categorically the agreed upon metric to which there is a good fight. And I don't mean agreed upon like 100 people voted sometime. I mean categorically. Probably. Yes, because the USDA tests beef with tools that are objectively grade A, grade B, blah, 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 blah. It is the agreed upon metric by which to grade beef. What is our agreed upon method of which to grade a fight? Subjective.
is the reason why Dragon Ball's fights are so good. It achieves
Another Persona song.
What's the problem? I like this song.
I like it too. Who cares?
There's no problem there. Clearly.
an incredible amount of emotional weight. However, emotional weight...
You're showing Jiren with emotional weight? Jiren versus a non-talking UI Goku? Yes, and if you're going to go, oh, here fighting for the universe, then Vegeta was fighting for the universe when he did the final explosion. So what's the emotional resonance with that one versus that one?
It is something that is almost never created in the fight itself. So the reason some of the iconic moments hit so hard is not the fight itself, but everything around it. And this is also the reason why I think Dragon Ball is kinda underrated, because people forget that to make the fights good, the writing outside of the fights has to be good as well. Let's look at 4 of the most beloved fights in Dragon Ball to prove this. First up, Goku vs Vegeta. Probably one of the most iconic fights.
Fuck!
Iconic. You know, think about it. We're arguing.
There are so many words in the dictionary, in the English language, of
Prove
which
it.
to use. So I will put it on screen.
Categorically false. We are limited in our vocabulary.
I was just having this discussion with my coworkers where it's just like, we have like no rules to our language because it's all goofy.
It's all just sounds.
Verbs can be adverbs and quasi-verbs and we ain't got no rules.
Fights in anime, and for many fans, the best in Dragon Ball. This fight sets up every criterion I just mentioned before it even starts. We have the stakes set up by Reddits before we even see Vegeta.
What? That they're gonna take over the planet? They're gonna blow it up?
What Raditz did when he just rocked up and was just like, rule the planet.
By telling the cast how strong the Saiyan is and that he will arrive with Nappa 1 year after they defeated Raditz.
Okay, but again, show me something that doesn't have something like that. What is there that doesn't? This is basic storytelling of here comes thing,
The strong thing.
and we gotta fight that thing. This is nothing to praise.
We have to defeat the great evil over the hill.
And the great evil is gonna be coming here in X amount of time.
Or we have to go over there in X amount of time.
Great evil, and the great evil is gonna put his great evil upon us in some way, either by subjugating us, in destroying our planet, whatever the case may be. Great evil is coming, and we have to stop him. Wow!
The fate of the Earth is on the line, and it also sets up tension with the timeless.
But don't you think that after a certain point, the fate of the Earth being on the line loses its luster? Because that was King Piccolo. That was Piccolo Jr. I think that was when it first started.
That was Raditz.
It was Raditz. At a certain point, you just gotta go.
That's 3 back-to-back before we even get to here.
Yes, you just gotta go. Okay, he's also gonna, and he's Piccolo. King Piccolo was the strongest, and they had to find a way to beat him. Otherwise, he would either make everybody slaves or destroy the planet or whatever. And then
The time limit of Piccolo Jr. in the World's Martial Arts Tournament.
If we don't find a way to beat him, he's gonna destroy the planet. And then Raditz comes, and if we don't have to, it's a strong person rocking up and just going, the planet is going to be in a negative state because of me. And you go, oh
Unless
my goodness,
you stop me.
Again and again and again. How many times before those stakes just go, yeah, and then you go Dragon Balls, yeah. Oh no, the Dragon Balls are gone. In page turn, well, there's a whole nother set of Dragon Balls over there. Great.
It sets for the cast. We have the philosophical and moral narrative of upper versus lower class, and also by extension,
How is that moral?
Yeah.
Philosophical, you could say, but Goku doesn't care about being low class or middle class or anything.
And I said before, we don't know if Vegeta's upper class.
Or he just spouting that
We had to hear from an interview that Nappa was middle class. We don't... He's just yelling, ha ha ha, I'm better than you. Take out lower class, high class, and just go, I'm better than you. What changes? We don't know about... He's just going, I'm an elite Saiyan. What does that mean? He's a low class warrior. What does that mean?
And then the philosophical, ideological, moral difference would just be the strong versus the weak. And it would once again look like natural talent versus hard work, because we see the work Goku puts in, and Vegeta just rocked up after eating some alien, just like, I'm the strongest Saiyan ever.
The natural talent versus hard work theme.
I guess so. I guess that's just where we're back to.
Yes, we are.
I guess we never left
Not
for a single solitary second.
Here.
I'm in chains.
Again, we only need to look at the iconic stand.
Holy fuck! What are you doing? How could you possibly?
He's using every word possible. That's every word that is afforded to him. He's using it, sir.
He
Come
has,
on
I
now.
believe, 2 more iconics before the iconic matches the lettering of iconic.
Off between Goku and Vegeta and immediately know what this fight is about, even without any context. Vegeta is the higher class, born with natural talent and brimming with confidence because of
But
it.
we don't know
Goku,
if
standing
he
off
had
way lower than him,
natural talent.
is a low-class warrior destined to be beneath Vegeta, but faces off against him anyways to protect what he loves and to prove that hard work can in fact rival natural talent. This is pretty much the ultimate fight set up by the first tournament, where we learned that there's always gonna be someone better, because there is no one better.
We know that. Every single arc past that, there has been somebody better.
Before that has been somebody better.
This isn't a revelation of, oh my goodness. We know.
Says essentially Tao Pai Pai, every subsequent person has been better.
Better than Vegeta, or at least that's what we think at the time.
Hello, monkeys!
Because Vegeta literally resembles that feeling of no one being better than him. He is...
But he should
Based
not
on
be
what?
like that.
He said he resembles that feeling based on what? Him just shouting,
Just
I'm
yelling
better.
it.
I'm better than you. He resembles the feeling of someone better than me.
But he shouldn't feel like that.
When he's getting cooked by Kui.
He's on par with Kui. He knows of the Dorian Zarbon.
And the Ginyu Force, he his pants when the Ginyu Force was coming, like
powered up Vegeta.
like, yo, give me the Dragon Balls, cause them mugs will kill us.
We done. He wants immortality to not be killed. But the whole immortality thing is stupid because you can still die. I mean, you can get your head cut off and you're just a head. You can't die. But you could be
You don't have regenerative abilities from
that
what we
whole
know.
immortality thing is stupid. But there's no reason why Vegeta should be like this. He knows of 2 other Saiyans, both of which, yes, they are weaker than him. Let's say he's the strongest Saiyan in history. What does he have to gauge that on? He knows those 3. When he was a kid, Planet Vegeta blew up. He's been under Frieza for all of his life. Why is he so hoity-toity? There's no reason given unless he's just subjugating these weak planets, but then he still has to go back and kneel to Frieza and Dodoria. It just makes no sense for him to be like this. But it makes sense for this fight for him to be like this. Because we need that ideological clash of low class, high class.
But it's so manufactured at that point.
Absolutely it is.
After all, the prince of all Saiyans. Vegeta's goal is to be the strongest, at the top of everything, while Goku just wants to get stronger. His goal is to work hard and get better and better. There are literally total opposites clashing against each other. And to add to the tension...
No, they both want to get stronger just for different reasons. I don't think that's necessarily total opposites if the goal is the same. Like, Uraraka wants to be a hero for money, and Deku wants to do it for to help people. Their goal is still to be a hero. It doesn't mean Uraraka isn't going to help people. It doesn't mean Vegeta doesn't want to get better and better.
Both of their goals will clash eventually. Deku will make money naturally as a hero, and Uraraka will help people while making money.
We really don't exactly know how strong both of these are at this moment. We only can slightly expect it based on how both of them completely wiped the floor with Nappa's head.
T4 star.
He's hitting all the beats.
Yeah, we never left.
And this was all set up before the fight. And I don't think I need to mention that the fight itself is also full of ups and downs and full of hype intense moments. At the end,
the beam struggle is trash. We've explained this before. It means nothing.
No.
Vegeta cannot survive in space. So he goes, I'm going to blow up your planet. What was your plan?
Hey, do it. Let's see it.
Go. Word. Let me just take a step to the side. Go on.
Like, was it gonna be a Frieza situation where it's like, oh, but I got 2 minutes to get to my ship?
That's all it had to be. But how could he possibly know?
How could he calculate that well?
Yeah,
to where
the planet size, the fact that he's been beaten up,
the core of the planet itself.
There's no way he could have known. So it's for the sake of this moment, he has to be like, I'm going to blow up your planet. And he has to do the big Kamehameha. And that big Kamehameha combined with his Gallic gun, it can't kill Vegeta for some reason. So it just has to push him up. And then he can just roll off the motherfucker.
So Vegeta's body and his armor is stronger than the planet. Since that was a planet-destroying blast he threw, and Goku's was stronger.
Cell gets eviscerated by a Kamehameha. Vegeta just gets pushed by it. What is that? Why is that? No reason given in the series. Hey, commenter, if you're going to try to explain it, I need a manga page of just going, this is the property of the Kamehameha.
Best I can do is a Toriyama interview.
The best you can do is a Toriyama interview of, well, sometimes they move their fingers like they shot. Okay, great. Fantastic. That's everything that I wanted today. A Toriyama interview where he just sharks at me.
And calls it art.
And muffs clap S cells. That's a discussion.
There's no way people are discussing S cells. There's no way people are clapping for S cells.
It is from the mind of Toriyama.
And that's all that matters.
That's all it is.
The fight concludes in such a satisfying way and ties up the philosophical narrative wonderfully.
How? Who won with the... Who did hard work win?
Yeah.
Did natural talent win? Or did a bunch of muffs jump him?
Yeah. He didn't... This isn't a low class beating a high class. Unless you talk about, it's the friends that he fostered in order to win the fight.
Or even a philosophical... one low class could never topple the upper class, but if we all band together, we can.
But again,
sort of like in a real world sense.
If you look at
workers rise up.
If you look at any fight like that, you can get something out of the fight.
We've said that before. That's all things equate
to just be like, this is doing that. It is not to be praised simply for not just having two stick figures fighting each other.
Result being Vegeta, the higher class warrior, loses because he was too arrogant and too proud of his natural talent.
They jumped that
Yes.
There was a guy he could not sense who cut off his tail. Mm-hmm. And then the kid regrew a tail out of nowhere.
They had to get the energy from the entire planet and put it through 3 different people in order to get him.
Which made him...
And that technique had to be taught by a god. I don't think Vegeta had much of a chance, if I'm being honest.
And no, because he was about to kill everybody.
And it was just like, hey, the moon.
Capable of working hard for his goal, and especially made him incapable of relying on others to help him.
We don't know how hard Vegeta worked for his goals. He is this strong, absolutely. But you're not just out the womb this strong. He was not a little kid killing those Cybermen as this 19 or 24 or whatever, 29,000, whatever he was. He had to grow in some way. And it couldn't have simply just been through combat and eating and sleeping and just the natural saying get stronger type of thing. Because if that's the case, why didn't Raditz get that strong? Why didn't Nappa get that strong? Because they're not high-class warriors? What does that mean? We don't know. Is it a greater, easier boost from those just saying things? It can't be a Zenkai, because that would mean that he would have to be hurt in battle, in which case his pride would have lowered by going, I'm not as strong as I thought that I was because I was hurt in this way.
His goal to be the strongest is a selfish one, while Goku's goal to get stronger is not, so he can rely on his friends to help him, which made it a team effort in the end.
You have to just sit there and just go, Vegeta's goal of become the strongest and rule the galaxy, ? It's just such a lazy goal. It's just, I want to rule the galaxy. There's just nothing to that. Just by being the strongest. It's what is the rule of Vegeta? How does the Earth differ under the rule of Emperor Vegeta? How does it differ from Frieza? But again, we don't know what the Frieza thing is. He's just buying and selling he's selling planets that he's taken over to somebody for some end. Whatever. So is that what Emperor Vegeta would be doing? Don't really know, because all he does is just going, I want to be immortal, the strongest. Wahaha.
They all worked hard together to defeat him. And another genius thing is that not only we, the audience, learn this lesson, but Vegeta as well, setting him up to be the future rival of Goku. Next up is the Goku vs Frieza fight. Again, most of the emotional weight and stakes of this fight comes from the writing and setup done before it. The Namek arc in itself is full of tension, since Goku isn't even around for most of it, and the whole time we have Frieza as this terrifying presence that looms over the whole planet. Once again, Frieza's strength gets set up brilliantly by him just playing with everyone like they are but ants compared to him.
I'm really strong. That's a brilliant setup. It's so brilliant. My God, how could you ever think of that unless you're a genius? That him just real strong. That other people not as real strong as him is. Whoa! How do you do it, Toriyama? How do you come up with these genius writing? These themes? My lotion.
First form Frieza was stronger than all of them. Piccolo, whatever, but come on now. Whatever. It is a dude just going, I don't care, and beating people up. This is not genius. He's so much stronger than them. It don't matter.
So when Goku finally arrives, we have that sense of relief that maybe, finally, someone can shake up this immovable mountain that is Frieza. This fight doesn't rely as much on a moral lesson or a philosophical idea to support it, because while the themes of hard work versus natural talent are prevalent here as well, it is more so a completion of Goku's character arc as
it's more a completion of Vegeta's character arc.
Yeah, I was about to say, if you want to look into things, you could be like, for the morals and all that stuff, the sins of the father, avenging, acceptance of who you are, but not letting that rule you, because it goes, I'm
heritage.
You can look into these things if you, why not? Maybe because it just wasn't just said. Maybe because they just
But
weren't.
Vegeta literally said it as he was dying.
I was about to say maybe because they're just not on a lower and a higher rock to be like, look. But yeah, you can extrapolate whatever you want from that. But He didn't he say that you could have two of them and it still be fine?
Yeah.
It is very baffling.
The whole. It is a fight against the ultimate enemy Goku always wished to have. One that pushes him to his limits as the fight goes on time and time again.
Pause, but Vegeta did that!
Vegeta cooked that boy!
Did that! Tien did that! This is not
how Pai did that.
This isn't that. I would think, because if you go back to the Raditz thing, I would think that he would want a more of a friendly rival. Not if I don't beat this person, everything dies. Because back in Raditz, they're flying up to Raditz, and Piccolo goes, "Aren't you excited?" He goes, "No, actually, I'm terrified."
My son, though.
He wants a Vegeta, let's hop into the time chamber and fight, not a, I'm getting held underwater, I'm dying, motherfucker.
Somebody
help. Hit him with a Destructo Disc. Krillin.
Nah, if I get off this and rock, I'm cooked.
It is a clash of two seemingly unstoppable individuals.
That mother was being held underwater.
Yeah, he is exceptionally stoppable, as evidenced by this fight. Oh, Goku still got the Kaioken.
That man was using a 20
ball.
He
been using that 20 ball this whole time. Ooh. Well, he still got the Spirit Bomb. Okay, yeah, I guess he's just gonna stand there and let him do that for 10 minutes.
Think Yamcha.
It ain't happening. He's dead. We're all dead. It's over.
Y'all not going back.
Teamwork to be done here because Goku is the only one who can do it.
And then they did teamwork to help Goku do it.
Mm-hmm. They all played a role in that fight, including, hey, give me your hand and I will accept your energy, which is introduced here and not followed up upon.
Hey, just like Goku's psychic abilities, where he can read the memories of Krillin just by touching his hand.
Indeed.
Cool.
Seems like Toriyama was just he's just like
whatever.
And I was thinking about that. The whole the androids thing where the editor, was that his former editor or his current editor that was just like, nah? Because if it's his current editor, surely he would have shown him a sketch or something to be like, it had to be just a former editor that he just really trusts. Don't write it in the comments. I've already looked it up. Save your comment.
Or don't care enough to look it up.
Or don't care enough and I've forgotten and I'm just gonna look at your comment like, what is this? Toriyama's editor? What?
Who talked about that?
Spam.
Which I guess is also a nice continuation of themes of the Vegeta fight, because it asks what happens when you can't rely on your friends anymore. And of course...
But he could, and he did.
Yes, he was doing the Spirit Bomb and they all helped.
Yes, they were instrumental in the fight in some way or another.
We all know what happens next.
This time you won't.
Why is he switching between the...
What? This is in Original Z. You got my girl Linda Young up in here on the track. Mondo, cool.
Oh, this is not great. Alright, is he still in these from AMVs at this point?
Nah, I think that was him. This wasn't good.
This is probably the most iconic scene.
Yeah! Yeah, it is! What's the problem? Why are you shaking your head? Did you hear something?
There is, if this channel went away tomorrow, there is no greater imprint I've put on the world than opening people's eyes to this iconic nonsense. And I can die happy knowing I've influenced one person
to be like, hey, hang on a tick.
Can you stop saying iconic?
You just said iconic.
Even if I've ruined their life a little more, just because they're recognizing it now, it made mine a little better.
Of Dragon Ball. And definitely one of the most influential scenes in the history of Japanese animation.
It's animation, period?
100%.
The legend of the Super Saiyan is something we heard across the entire arc. We always knew.
Yes, it was introduced in this arc. I don't give a about Nappa and Vegeta flying into the plot and just going, they can make a Super Saiyan, because there's no, that is not what this is.
No.
Because the legend of a Super Saiyan is a big warrior man who turned into, it wasn't a breeding with a human. There's nothing like that. So all we got here is just Vegeta yelling, he is a Super Saiyan. I am a Super Saiyan. Is he a Super Saiyan? Am I a Super Saiyan? That's all we have. We have no evidence. We have nothing about what a Super Saiyan is, how it's attained, what's its strength, nothing. So all we can do once this happens is just go, oh, I guess that's a Super Saiyan. And what does it mean? He just gets stronger. He just gets faster. He just gets more feral? Question mark? Or whatever, because even that comes into contention, because King Kai's yelling at him, finish him, he's transforming, he's not paying attention, and Goku's like, nah, I want to humiliate this motherfucker. He held himself back when Frieza was just like, please spare me, and he was cut in half. He was like, did you spare my friend? And he gave him his energy. So this whole, he's more fair. What is the level to which he is more?
The ferocity of him.
Oh, I guess he could just turn that on and off. So, this Super Saiyan transformation just means nothing because it wasn't set up enough, and it doesn't do enough for the character of Goku or like the fight itself, because he is just now stronger. What's the difference if he just yelled Kaioken 100 and unlocked the ability to do it without it harming his body? Almost nothing, because now it's just like, well, it's the rage that made him become a Super Saiyan. Is it? Was that the prerequisite? We don't know, because Vegeta didn't know, because he just thought that he was one because he hit a level of strength. And it's not even the rage. It's just emotional enough situation. To this day, and even then we don't know, because Trunks and Goten
and Vegeta, because even in the manga, there was no asteroid thing. He just showed up one day as a Super Saiyan.
And Dragon Ball Super, that doesn't really count. But even if we're looking at this as a whole, I think that it does count. And if it does count, that's also bullshit.
It's a thing, but we couldn't really grasp what it truly meant.
Yes, and where are the stakes in that if we don't really know what it means?
Is he? Oh, I guess this is it.
This could just be Kaioken times 100, and his hair just turned blonde because of the stress. We don't know what this is, so you can only care in as much as this gonna be? This must be, and this must be able to defeat Frieza
perfectly by the writing before the fight. And when it finally happens, it is unlike anything we've seen in the series so far. It is such an incredibly rewarding moment, because we immediately know this is it. It finally happened. We are not dealing with the
How did we not know that it was it when Vegeta was just crapping his pants over him? Goku just landed and just going, oh, he's so strong. Clearly he's a Super Saiyan. So what evidence do we have that he's not at that point? Why do we not believe Vegeta, who has the most knowledge about Super Saiyans outside of Frieza, who I guess is only hearsay, but outside of him, he just goes, he is a Super Saiyan. So all we can do is just go, okay, I guess he is.
Finally happened. We are not dealing with the average Saiyan warrior anymore. He has risen above and become a legend. A transformation that perfectly concludes the legend that was set up and followed.
What is the legend?
Perfectly concludes.
What is the legend of the Super Saiyan? There once was a, and that is the legend.
Here's another.
He existed and he was strong. How do you become one? I don't know. What does it mean to become one? I don't know.
What does it look like?
I don't know. How do you know when you have become one? I don't know. What do you mean by getting stronger? Is that 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 times strong? I don't know. Oh, so here it is. This is it.
that a speech that perfectly concludes Goku's character. He is Son Goku, the Saiyan from Earth. He accepts his heritage as a Saiyan warrior, but also acknowledges all the...
Why did he accept his Saiyan heritage?
He don't give a shit about
Why
being a
should
Saiyan.
he care about being a Saiyan? He's had...
Who is a Saiyan? What is a Saiyan? He don't give a shit.
He's had one conversation with Raditz about being a Saiyan. He's had... I guess the whole Vegeta talk on Earth.
But I think Goku was like, I don't care about that.
And then Vegeta crying and dying. And then what else? It's been, oh, this Saiyan is a piece of crap. These two Saiyans are a piece of crap. This guy who's a million times stronger than me hates Saiyans and is calling me a monkey. And then this dude is crying and dying and talking about avenge us. No? Who are you? I ain't you.
The lessons he learned on Earth, combining the themes of hard work and natural talent. And when the fight ends, Goku...
Wait! How does Super Saiyan...
Because he's a natural Saiyan, so that's just an inlaid ability that all Saiyans have.
What?
That's his natural talent to turn into a Super Saiyan.
What?
Yeah, you're born with the ability to do so. You just have to unlock it.
What?
Yeah. See, it's too deep for you. You weren't thinking about Dragon Ball on these terms. We got Gohan and Cell left. What's the other fight?
Boo.
That's not one of the favorites. He said 4 of the most favorite.
Majin.
He said 4 of the most favorite. It's probably going to be in either Piccolo in 17 or 18 in Vegeta.
Majin.
Oh, Majin. Yeah.
Yeah, Majin. Boo.
I thought
Majin
I was thinking Boo. Yeah, no.
Again makes it...
That fight sucked.
But it was emotional.
Was it?
Yeah, I do
The
this for
ending
you.
was emotional,
Yeah.
but the fight itself was just, we get to see it, and Goku wasn't even really crying, honestly.
No, I'm talking about Boo versus Vegeta.
Oh, we're talking about that? That fight sucked! Vegeta threw some wild punches, got cooked, cried, and said, I'm gonna blow up!
This is all I got.
And it ain't work!
He did the I forget what this is called. What is that called?
It's not the Big Bang attack.
No, it's the
It's not the final
something
attack.
Impact. It was one of my favorite
Final
moves
Impact?
It's one of my favorite moves in the
Tenkaichi
Tenkaichi games. Majin Vegeta. I was gonna say finger attack, but
Safe search of one.
that's gonna amazing impact.
Whoops.
Good. No, that's just a name of a move that he has. Majin. Final Impact.
Yep.
Yes.
I've been hit with it enough times.
How is it any different from
The Big Bang attack.
or anything else? I shot at you, and what?
Really?
I like that part because
Really? Do we have to watch it? Okay.
I'm very glad that is not as prevalent because I would get cooked by that pan stuff. Oh! Destroyed.
I didn't even think about it!
Destroyed.
Yeah, no.
I better stay off the Discord.
Clear who he is and what he is about. Because despite him being forced to rely on the power that was sleeping within him, or shortly relying on what he is, he still lets Frieza go, because that's who he is. However, sometimes the worst people of all are not able to change. While Vegeta used the opportunity to become better, Frieza is not capable of such a thing.
No, he was not better from that opportunity.
Yeah.
He was better because he got some of that Bulma puss.
Yeah.
And it changed his life. He's the ultimate simp. That mother got laid once and it turned his whole world around. She put that fang on him.
He ain't changed essentially until Trunks got shot in the heart. 2 whole arcs later. What are you talking about? He's not a different person here. He is still completely out for his own goals.
Even when he gets back on Earth, he's laughing, throwing up grass, beating up Gohan. Like, somebody stop me. They wouldn't get Wish back because I blew them muffs up. What you gonna do about it? I'm Vegeta in this bit.
In this arc, he was just like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill them and then steal the wish. That is the plan.
This fight was the conclusion to Goku's character, and you could say that the writing declines after this because it very much felt like it could be the ending of Dragon Ball. Toriyama himself said that he wanted to end the series on multiple occasions. However, if he would have ended it here, we wouldn't have gotten the incredible fights that follow.
That fight sucked.
Gohan versus Cell?
Yes.
No.
That fight sucked.
Raw.
Oh my god, the emotion of it. Alright.
Don't you remember when he punched a Cell Jr. and it exploded?
There were like 7 of them that did that.
It's cool, wasn't it? Hey, why didn't they do the explosion punch before or after?
I'm not listening to
this
you.
one is the
Wait a
climax
second.
of
I'm not listening to you.
Do this, the Cell Juniors, why do they not have the same regenerative abilities as Cell?
Because they're juniors.
That doesn't make sense.
While the last fight was the climax of Goku's character, this one is the climax of Gohan's.
And then he became better.
Yes. He got way better. Then he got worse. And then he just sort of middled out.
Two fights explored the themes of hard work versus natural talent and coming to terms with who versus what you are. This fight is very much similar in that, but also has the themes of expectations put on oneself and the appreciation of life to it. And all that is explored through the character of Gohan.
You know why? Because it was sad.
Yes.
That's why he's extrapolating this as easily as he is. Because the themes of
expectations of oneself.
It wasn't. It was Goku going,
You're gonna do it, son. You're gonna be the one that beats him because you're stronger than me. I guess I'll try, father. Oh no. I'm getting cooked.
The story, ever since he was first introduced, we knew that Gohan is the total opposite of his father. He's polite, reserved, and most of all, he's a pacifist. He doesn't like...
Based on what? He was a fraidy cat here. That means nothing. He was a fraidy cat in the Saiyan saga, and then Piccolo was like, get your shit together.
Because he's 4 years of age.
And then he got it together and was about to blast Nappa. He was the one that's like, let's turn around and go help my dad. He was the one that was like, we can't let them do this to the Namekians. Let's go kick them mugs down.
It is the situations that Gohan is in. It is situations where there's no other options. Mm-hmm. So we don't really know of his character. He's not going into that situation. He's being put into that situation. He's getting put onto Namek in order to have everything happen on that. But if that's the case, when he asked to train with his father and Piccolo in the 3-year time skip between the androids. Yeah, because he knew that he would have to. See, the pacifism stuff doesn't really work because there's so much around it. He is one of the last lines of defense for the Earth. And he's sub 10 years old up until in Cell. So of course he's gonna be afraid of stuff. I just don't really play into the whole pacifism. No, thing. Just because he said it, I don't really like to fight, so that equals pacifism? How so? Based on what metric outside of Gohan literally shouting it at you?
Fighting like his father. Goku's flaw as a character is that he puts fighting above all else. He's even willing to put the lives of others and himself at risk because of it, because he enjoys it. Which is also pretty nice writing for a protagonist if you ask me, but never mind. However, Gohan is not like that. Why is it? He sees fighting for what it is. It's hurting others and he doesn't want to do that.
Pause. But then once it comes up to Cell, he's torturing him. Then once it comes up to Boo, he's smiling at him and calling him the gamer word.
The nicer gamer word.
Yeah, the lesser gamer word. But where is that coming from? If he doesn't like to do this, why did he not just do the big Kamehameha and instantly kill Boo? He just went...
Or Cell.
He just went, hey kids, you guys can have your turn against Boo again.
Hey, I don't like fighting. I'd rather end battles as quickly as possible. Oh wait, no, I'm gonna torture this man.
Yeah.
He was always afraid to take action and only did so out of survival instinct. But when the character that is...
Because he is a child.
Hey, he took action on Namek to save a Namekian.
An untrained child, I should hope that they are going to be scared of things.
pretty much similar to him, Android 16 sacrifices himself. Gohan realizes that if he wants to cherish life, sometimes he needs to fight to protect it. The stakes in his
He's already learned that because he did it on Namek! Why are you skipping what he did on Namek?
fight are not necessarily created by asking whether or not the hero can overcome its foe, because we pretty much know that Gohan can do it, but rather if the hero can come to terms with his own struggles, resulting in...
And then torture the villain!
Yeah. I mean, did he come to terms with his own struggles? What
are his struggles?
If you believe that his struggles are... What are his struggles? Because I was going to say pacifism, but is sadism just like overcoming, just like, yeah, I'm no longer a pacifist, and stab, stab, stab?
One of the most epic and satisfying climaxes of a character arc I've ever seen.
Okay. He didn't say iconic.
Let it go.
The iconic transformation, though.
Yet another fighter you could have saved.
And I won't watch this anymore!
Stephanie overcalling no argument.
Oh yeah, no. Big Steph. We stand a Steph here.
Pause. You've proven no points by showing that.
Wait, wasn't it awesome?
Let's grant him that it was awesome. Mm-hmm. I've seen this
Multiple times.
What does this do for me?
Rekindled the feeling of when I first saw it.
That's not you making me recognize something about Dragon Ball.
What's the problem?
That's you just going, hey, don't you remember that thing? And then you get a feeling, and then you carry that feeling into the next 5 minutes of this video. Mm-hmm. You've done nothing.
What's the problem? Oh no, it can't be 5 minutes because he's got another fight to do.
In this moment, Gohan is finally taking action and thus turning the fight on its head.
He took action
We
on
all
Namek.
knew Gohan would beat Cell's ass if he wanted to, so when he finally snaps, it is all the more exciting to see him do it. It was built up from the very beginning.
But then
You showed the part on Namek where he saved the
So he snaps, and then he becomes a Super Saiyan 2, and
then he crackles and pops.
No, that's a cereal. What are you talking about? But that happens, and you just see him do a new transformation. It's not Super Saiyan 2 yet. So you just go, is this just a Gohan specific thing? Is this just if Goku just went raw, could he also do this? Is this simply just stronger? What is this? And we just have to sit there and just go, oh, he's just winning now. Great. This is the culmination of his character arc, I guess.
Gotta go back a bit now.
Exciting to see him do it. It was built up from the very beginning of his character and is beautifully tied up in here.
Pause. That he has this rage in him, absolutely. So he unleashes that rage and becomes a Super Saiyan 2. And then other people who do not have that inner rage also achieve Super Saiyan 2. So
and beyond.
What is this?
I want to take the time here to also talk about these transformations and Dragon Ball's depiction of anger. Oftentimes in media or in society in general, anger is portrayed as something negative, something you shouldn't let out and something that hurts others. And while it is true that you shouldn't let your anger hurt other people, it is also an emotion that is incredibly important to have. Something that you need to set your own boundaries, to defend yourself against others, and also something that you can use as a fuel to push past your limits, which is something Dragon Ball teaches us insanely well with these transformations. That we can use this anger.
If you're pushing past your limits, they were never limits.
We can use this anger to become better. And how do they do it? They get angry and then they get 50 times stronger.
Instantaneous. Like a 6-year-old could defeat 95% of the planet. And just because he gets 50 times stronger.
And then they can tap into that 50 times stronger at any given time. How do I channel my anger in such a degree?
Advantage and to push ourselves if we manage to control it. But Gohan's transformation is not where the fight ends, is it? Another narrative that was set up here was the expectations Goku had on Gohan and how different they were to each other. So when Cell decides to go on full suicide mode, Goku knows that this is his chance to make up for it. He sacrifices himself to save everyone and tells his son he's sorry to have put all these expectations.
Nah, that's that bush. Because he could have just teleported him and then came back.
Yeah.
Let's stop the bush.
Yeah, doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
On him. To have not let his son be what he truly is, but rather expecting him to be the same as his father. However, Cell survives in
But I think it would have been more impactful for Goku to realize that himself, instead of Piccolo, who has not spent as much time with Gohan as Goku has, to yell that at him. He has, in current time, spent 2 years, or was it 1 year? I think it was,
until the Saiyans came?
In the time chamber.
2 years.
2 years. 2 years in the time chamber.
They came out a little early.
Piccolo spent that time, maybe, a year with them when he was a kid. So
no, I think it was 1 year because Vegeta went back into the time chamber after the fact.
Let's just say a year.
Or do you get 3 years? I can't remember what the time chamber is.
Let's just say a year.
Okay.
A max of 2 years. Mm-hmm. He spent it with Gohan. This almost teenage Gohan, who's formulating his own future and everything, who's a lot more cognizant than a 4-year-old. But yet Piccolo had to yell at him, no, this is not what your son, whom you could have had these conversations with, wants. Why did Goku not have that conversation? He just didn't. And I think it would have been better for him to see that and just go, now wait a second. Him just thinking back to his life as he's rolling down a log and thinking about what Gohan does for fun and is reading a book and him just putting the pieces together of, ooh, no.
Comes back. And the fight again ends with a beautiful message, with Goku supporting his son and telling him that he indeed can do it. That he doesn't have to be afraid.
That's definitely an A and B I've seen before.
I think if Krillin had popped the Kamehameha, Goku would have been like, you can do it! Somebody gotta! And who can? This mother... So yes, I think it's absolutely fine for Goku to just not give up and just go, lie down, son.
Let it go.
I got a seat right next to me, homie. I'm waiting for you.
I just was here a little early, buddy.
I don't think that it is to be applauded that he is not going, son.
We knew what this was.
Yeah, you better put that arm down or you cooked.
And do it. That he doesn't have to be afraid of an obstacle, but rather overcome it with hard work and most of all, believing in himself.
I still until the fight.
Majin Buu vs Vegeta. Yet another time, it's the conclusion to a character arc, this time Vegeta's.
No, the conclusion was at the end of Z where he goes, Goku, you're better than me, you always were!
There are things that came later that concluded his story. But he goes, this let's not forget, this is about Dragon Ball fights are special. And he's talking about the conclusion of Mob's arcs.
But it ties into the fight, and that's why the fights are special.
But there's a lot more than these 4 fights. Who's bumping?
But there's a favorite ones.
What? I don't remember. I remember almost nothing about Dodoria versus Vegeta.
Vegeta cooked that boy.
Yeah. So is that special? Or are we just going, these special fights are special, and you can interpret or extrapolate whatever feelings that you want from the other fights as well, but these are like the top of the mountain types.
In the course of the story, Vegeta slowly shifted from being a selfish asshole to being a not so selfish asshole. He himself realized.
And again, I do not believe that Trunks' Ra moment. We did not see that enough. We've not gotten their training. We have not gotten why he feels an attachment to Trunks. I do not believe that moment where he gets that angry when Trunks dies.
Unless he sees Trunks like a possession. Like you hurt a thing that is mine.
Commenter, if you have some idea about what it is, other than just the fact that he just realized that he actually did like his son. I cut to this moment of I've never held you since you were a baby. So did he run back on that? What happened there? Why was he angry when Trunks died?
That and noticed that while his rival Goku was becoming stronger and stronger, he himself found other things he cared about. The Majin Vegeta transformation is a genius way to show the inner struggle he goes through because of that. When he realizes that he lost track of his goal of becoming the strongest, he gets frustrated. He loses it and wants to get...
But why isn't he the strongest?
When
he's still training in like 600 gravity.
It wasn't about him becoming the strongest. Wasn't it about him just going back to his ruthless ways?
Maybe the strength ties into it. Because why would he want to go back to his ruthless ways if it wasn't for... Unless... I think it was just for the Goku fight. Because he didn't think Goku would give him a real fight. Unless he went, yo... I'ma wipe a out.
But what does that have to do? Because he's framing it purely as he's going back to his... He wants to go back to just that strength. Mm-hmm. And it's just more than that. I'm looking for the chapter.
I'll keep playing
there.
This
is not a good site.
Rid of all these feelings.
Use Manga for Life.
Manga for Life?
Yeah. That's what I use for everything.
I know there's some. I used to have a very good colored official manga.
Manga for Life does that. Oh, really? When the volumes come out, they replace the scantillations from fans with the volumes.
It's not colored.
You probably got to look up the colored one because it does have. They do have them separate.
No, they don't. I'm the expert. Yeah, you are. What? Who am I? Who am I fighting? This is after Boo as Back Alive. I'm assuming that I'm looking for him talking to Goku when he's just like, I wanted to go back or whatever. But this fight is so short in the manga.
Dragon Ball full color.
That's fake news. I don't care what happens to anymore. I sold my soul. Yeah, this is impossible to find. It's been scrubbed from history.
As it should have been.
There we go. It's just about the fight. Okay, I'm going back to when he first became a Majin and killed those people, and then let's see what he says. Wow, it's really like 2 chapters in 17 in Hercule.
Why wouldn't it be? That's what the fans came for. What y'all want to do? What y'all call the brawlers?
Vegeta, you surrendered to Bobides? If I hadn't, I'd never get to fight you after today. You're leaving this world just to fight him. Are you insane? Insane? You think that this is insane? Who cares about Boo? This is what I live for. He surpassed me. He's a Saiyan just like me, but he far outstripped me, the Prince of all Saiyans. Once he even saved my life. I can't.
Sounds like he was mad about
things other than pure strength. But it could be, it can be interpreted as such, and it's purely about the strength and stuff like that.
So he can focus on his selfish goal again. Maybe also because he's too proud or too afraid of fully exploring these feelings that he has.
Pause.
However,
maybe we should know these things. Maybe we
shouldn't, so we could have discussions about it.
Okay, but then at that point, why write anything if it's all about interpretation? Why? You're going into his mind going, he's yelling, this is why I'm doing this. And then it's just like, okay, but all this other stuff you can interpret. Like, come on now.
when he senses Boo's awakening and learns what he has done, he makes a decision. He decides that the lives of the people he loves are worth more than his selfish goal. Wonderfully
and he didn't realize that before until the moment the consequences came.
He's getting beat up like, uh-oh. I gotta do something about this.
Did I do that? Hold up.
But if he's trying to make right what he did wrong, wouldn't it be better of a man to just go, I need your help, Kakarot, to defeat this person? Because even if you could just come with us.
He can knock out Goku when he's about to sacrifice himself because he knows Goku will stop him.
Yeah. But just like, even if we don't tag team him, just come with me. And if I die, you jump in. Learn his battle strategies, whatever. But him just knocking him out, that lowers the chance of him actually succeeding in his goal.
His character arc of learning to appreciate the lives of others, and to say it in Piccolo's words, for the first time of his life, he's not fighting for himself.
Is that it?
Yeah, we got a minute 40.
What makes all of these fights exciting are the stakes that come along with them. What makes them interesting are the philosophical themes that are explored through them. And what makes these fights so incredibly resonating and beautiful is the emotional weight they carry because of everything that has come before them. Because of the setup that was done, and because they were the conclusion and the climax of the characters we learn to love and cherish over the whole story. Dragon Ball's fights work so well because we know what these characters are about. They motivate us by teaching us how to push ourselves with hard work, no matter how good we think we are, and to control our
I can't get into a gravity chamber. I can't.
But you can push yourself in your own way past your limits.
But what
Dragon Ball inspired you to lose weight and pump iron.
No.
Yeah, Dragon Ball.
No.
Imagine.
God bless you if it did, but that wasn't me.
Negative emotions and use our anger as a fuel to go even further beyond.
Pause. But what if you use that anger in a negative way?
Beating people.
Yeah.
Road rage.
Oh, the world turned its back on me. I'll turn my back on the world.
Somebody, there was a story recently where somebody in a car attacked some kid or something that threw a snowball in his car. Like, that's anger.
Yeah. When you're angry, you're not like, oh, I gotta be rational about this. I gotta channel this anger
in positive ways.
No, it is the thing that make me angry. Smash.
By learning to come to terms with what we are and still remain who we are in the process. And by teaching us...
What if I'm a monster?
What if I'm a pedo?
You really shouldn't have said that.
I really shouldn't have. Cut that part out. It's fine. But again, I don't believe him coming to terms with being a Saiyan from Earth. It'd be like me just hopping on stream and just going, I'm an African. It's like, I don't know those motherfuckers. Just finding out we've got 0.2 of Irish heritage is going, all right, let's go on. Like, no.
It would be less than nothing.
What does Goku... That hand is kind of wonky.
We're not paying attention to
what
drawings.
does Goku know about the Saiyan heritage? The Saiyan people? The race? The culture?
Does he remember his father's name?
Anything?
Does he know his mother's name?
What is the acceptance of being a Saiyan mean? Other than, I'm not a human. I am this thing. Okay? What is that? It changes nothing. He said he didn't care, and now he's just like, no, I care now.
Protect and cherish the lives of others and the lives of the ones we love. And most importantly, they teach us to believe in ourselves. They are the result of the genius writing that has come before.
Why didn't Vegeta believe in himself and not blow himself up? Why didn't he believe that he could actually beat Boo in a one-on-one?
Because he saw what was happening.
So it's up to a certain point. But he believed he could
take him out too.
It's up to a certain point. It's just like, just do whatever you gotta do.
Whatever it takes.
Yeah. I believe I can beat him. Uh-oh. Somebody's getting cooked. And it's me.
I got off that island and I got cooked.
So, and then you just go, well, I just gotta blow myself up and hope that this works.
Them, and they perfectly concluded in the most epic and beautiful way.
Genius, beautiful, epic conclusion.
Iconic.
He hasn't said iconic here. I'm just saying what he said in these moments that we've heard a bunch of times already. He's about to hit his 6th iconic. He needs to.
Just a bunch of dudes screaming and punching.
Iconic.
I wouldn't even be mad.
It'd be such disbelief that you would just slide it in at the very end. But just a bunch of dudes punching. Iconic.
That's like a 9.
That's 7.5 from me.
It's just the I don't like the whole I'm gonna talk about this thing as if nothing else does.
Yes, that aspect is very bad, but I like that he explained a lot of what he meant by these themes, and that gave points to it. Still a very bad video. It said iconic too much, repeated itself too much. Like you said, just going, hey, Dragon Ball does these things. Okay, but like, what doesn't?
What doesn't?
That's what I want content creators to do when they start talking about how special a thing is, or how amazing a thing is, or how it does things other shonen and blah blah, or doesn't do. What doesn't do? What have you consumed in the shonen, anime, manga space that doesn't do what you're about to talk about?
And have it be truthful, because I think it was Rash Plays that was just spouting bush that other things don't do. It's like, yeah, it does. What are you talking about?
Yeah. We do know what we're doing Saturday. Finishing up that thing, I'm about to say triggered. Finishing up that Demon Slayer video.
Hopefully finishing it.
What do you mean? There's nothing. It's a video.
It is the same amount of length as essentially from the other ones. And
we're probably going to spend 4 hours.
4 hours all up.
Yeah. We're probably going to end up spending 4 hours on it.
Well, hopefully they're easier.
But we should be able to finish it because the next week we're not doing anything, so it's a break for us, really. Next week we're not doing anything stream-wise. We could probably still hit a regular visit.
Hopefully.
Early on.
Hopefully it is just simply
Boom, boom.
easier arguments.
Yes.
What else is left? We hit the big points.
He probably going by... What was near the end?
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
Yeah. Oh, the class thing where it's just like one is better for...
breathing to strengthen a demon slayer, but no. There are, in fact...
Rengoku. Zenitsu. Oh, Genya. Oh, Baxter. Oh,
Oh, no. 6-hour stream coming, y'all. 8-hour stream coming, y'all. New Drit stream coming, y'all.
Man, it's so chunky in the back end.
Yeah.
What?
Ladies.
what was that sentence? Yeah, so we are gonna finish that.
Yes.
Even if, who knows, we might, worst case, just split it off into the Sunday.
Yeah.
Or something. But I don't see why we
particular time of Sunday because my Detroit Lions are in the conference championship. Divisional championship. And they have a very good chance of going to the conference championship. And I'm telling you right now, if our power had went off, I would have went to that game even though it was $500 for standing room. I would have went to that game.
I'm very happy that Captain Mac has 1 million views on that.
Yes.
And that dumb 7-hour video doesn't even have 150K.
The one that's blowing it?
I'm so happy.
That synopsis monster.
I'm so happy.
Yep. So keep sending your... I started reworking the playlist again. I started adding some of the recent ones, adding more. The next thing I'm going to do is, once I finish up all the series, I'm going to do it by content creator. Don't expect it anytime soon, though. It's when I feel like it.
I was going to chip away at that as well. There was a couple things I wanted to chip away at, but because work is getting slower.
Okay.
But I'm hopefully not going to be there much longer.
You say that until
knows?
that car is ahead and you're like, I could probably just for a little bit longer.
No. This year is different. No complacency. Go time.
Things will change.
Foot on the pedal. Things
Hopefully.
still will change. Or will they? Or is it
things will still change.
Still will change. I read change.
Okay.
That doesn't make much sense. They will.
Okay.
Watch.
I'm watching.
You
have not expired confidence due to the tattoo.
I was looking through old pictures as well, just deleting still, and I found another one where I was just like, nah.
85% good or just off the rip bad?
Off the rip.
Dang.
It's over.
Cooked.
But this year is different.
Things
Watch.
will change.
Watch. They will. And they are. And they have. And they will continue to. Oh no. I'm like, what are we doing here? Yeah, why did you say it? I don't have to say it.
Because it's your thing. You're the weeble, man. I'm just a humble servant, a humble passenger on the weeble train.
You control the time.
That means nothing.
I'm
the dead man's hand on the brake. That's it.
It is up to you to determine when it ends and when it begins.
It ends when you say.
No, it doesn't.
Oh my God, what a setup.
You can click the button and it can end.
Yes, but we've established that these motherfuckers need to know when we're ending.
I understand that, but that doesn't...
Otherwise, we get 2 moms in the Discord crying that I don't know when the next episode starts. Look at the runtime.
Turn off autoplay.
Yeah, turn that shit off. Click the next one.
But it is not a requisite for the episode to end for me to say we will.
Yeah, there we go.
The episode does not end unless you click the button.